No, they ain't speak to you like that. They just they spoke to you just to see what you doing around here.
What part of city is it?
Huh?
What part of city?
This is Wynwood. Yeah. Yeah, this is Wynwood. Yeah. That's what you can get from working hard, you know what I mean? But if you're in a ghetto all the time, you got a ghetto mindset, then you ain't gonna know this kind of stuff is out here. You know? You gotta start thinking like a nigga and think like a king. And you can have stuff like this. See this? You can have stuff like this. Look at that. A lot of you people ain't even know stuff like this existed. You know? Houses like this existed. You know? You want to just stand on a corner and sell your crack when you can have stuff like this right here. Look at that. You know? Look. You got stuff just like this. Nice homes just like this right here, you know? If you thinking right. If you thinking right, you can have stuff like this. This guy's following me. Yeah. If you thinking right, you can have stuff just like this right here. Yeah. Oh shit. These are some nice houses. Look at these houses, y'all. Yeah, you can have some of this. Anybody can have it if you thinking right. You got your mind right. You know, you gotta sell dope to get this. Just work hard. You know, you can write poetry, write books, play sports, do music. You know, go to school. You know, yeah. Look at that, man. These people be hiding, man. Hiding, living in the back here. They be hiding, look. House is all the way up there. So you go in the hood, you don't even know stuff like this exists. You go in the neighborhoods, you don't know stuff like this exists. Yeah. You don't even know stuff like this exists. But it do. They keep it from you, they hide it from you. You know, they hide it from you. See, once you come out and see stuff like this, it make you start thinking clear and thinking, get your mind right. You know? Make you start thinking. You know? Don't ever think you can't have this, because you can. Don't never think you can't have this. Some of you dudes be, oh man, the white people get it, man. You know, they ain't gonna let us get it. You know what I mean? Listen, can't nobody stop you. Can't nobody stop you from getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, only person can stop you from getting something is you. That's it. It's the only person can stop you from getting something is you. You know? That's it. I gotta go back this way because I don't even know where I'm going. I don't know where this road down here is going to take me.
Go this way, go that way.
Huh? I'm going this way right here. Because I don't know where that road back that way is going to take me. See, look at that, man. It's nice out here. But you'll get lost, though. You know, you got to know where you're going. You know? You got to know where you're going at. I want to see all of you guys. I think this road is. I want to see all of you guys prosper in life. You know? Look at these houses, man. You know? Police don't even be out here. Ain't no police out here riding around and all that stuff. You know why? Because people out here, they police themselves. And plus, guess what? Ain't no crime out here. They ain't getting in trouble and stuff like that. You know what these cops be looking for out here? They look for people speeding and stuff. Not committing crimes. They look for people speeding. Because ain't nobody out here committing crimes. And if they are, they're committing petty crimes. Cops is pulling people over for smoking weed, speeding, stuff like that. Ain't nobody doing no crime and all that stuff. You know, ain't nobody selling no drugs and stuff like that. These white people, if they are selling drugs, they selling them off the laptop and over the phone and you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. They ain't standing on no corners and stuff like that. You know? The doctors, they write prescriptions. That's how they sell their drugs. They write prescriptions for you and let you sell the drugs, and then when you get done selling drugs, you get them a cut of the money. And then they write you another prescription. That's how doctors make money. They make their money like that. Yeah. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can make an honest living and get a house like that. You don't have to sell dope, and that's what they promote to us on TV. They tell you that you got to do that, you know, with the Shy, BMF shows like that, you know, because where you live at, they make you think that you got to do that, you know what I mean? Like, you don't. Our ancestors, you know, they were smart, they were intelligent, you know, they made money. I mean, they was able to use their brain, use their mind and their intelligence and figure stuff out. They figured out ways to make money, ways to sell stuff and legally, you know, they ain't had to do, you know, when you selling drugs and illegal stuff, that's the white man poison that you selling to your people and you know. Same stuff that he gave you, he won't put you in jail for it. He invented all these poisons, you know. Yeah. You don't need to be selling this stuff. You know, it ain't worth it. You know, it's always plenty of ways to make money. Anytime a Mexican can come over here, you know, and bust his butt and make some money, you know, without selling drugs and nothing, why can't you do it? Think about that. They come over here with nothing. Africans too, with nothing. You know? and jump right into learning construction, and they just learn how to make money selling waters, and you know what I'm saying, they hustle on, they sell bags and whatever they sell and make money. You know, you sitting up here talking about, oh man, you know, the white man got his foot on my neck, I can't get no money, you know, because of my record, my jail record, stuff like that. Like, these people come over here from third world countries on boats and get it out the mud and get some money. And you sitting up here still telling making that same excuse you made 10, 20 years ago about how you can't get no money. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Nobody's trying to hear that. Like, come on, man. I mean, it's getting old, you know? You know what I mean? Niggas is lazy, you know? You know, you tell somebody about a job, they want you to go get the application form and then fill it out for them and take it back down there. Like, you know, you told them about the job. That's your job to go down there, get the application, fill it out, give it to them, call them, all that kind of stuff. You know, that's what you're dealing with these days. People they want you to do the work for them. They don't want to do nothing. They want you to do everything. People want you to put in the work. You know, they want you to get them lit. Even people that rap. You got people that, as soon as they get a deal, get on and start making some money. A nigga that ain't on, he wants you to put him on and get him a deal. Like, you know, like, you your own man. You get your own deal. You know, that's why I don't be respecting these dudes that be going at Meek Mills and disrespecting Meek Mills, saying that Meek Mills, he don't put the city on, he don't do nothing for the city, stuff like that. Like, that's Meek Mill money, that's his money. He don't owe you nothing. You get your own deal. You know, it ain't his job to get you a deal. Like, you a man. Like, you supposed to get your own money in your own record deal, same way he did. You know, he was on mixtapes, you know, he kept writing and practicing, and, you know, he had doors slammed in his face like everybody else when he was trying to get deals, but he stuck with it. He stayed hungry, and then, you know, ain't nobody help him out. He kept on going hard, and, you know, everything worked out. Same thing you got to do. You know, that's a part of your testimony, your struggle. It's always going to be a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people luck up and get a deal, but most of the time you got to go through a lot. You know, Rick Ross and Jay-Z, I mean, they was rapping for years before they got signed. You know, Rick Ross was rapping for a long time before he got a deal, and then a lot of people don't even know that. Rick Ross was signed to Scarface. You know, Jay-Z was carrying bags around for Big Daddy Kane. You know, he's carrying his bags, and Big Daddy Kane let him open up on stage for him and stuff sometime, you know, and nobody knew who Jay-Z was for years. I'm talking about years, like while Big Daddy Kane was rapping. He had Jay-Z on verses and stuff. Nobody still didn't know who he was, Jay-Z. Nobody asked who is he or none. He was just another dude that was on a Big Daddy Kane song. Like, you still paid attention to Big Daddy Kane. Like, oh, that's Big Daddy Kane homeboys. You know, they sound alright. You know, but at the end of the day, you wanted to hear Big Daddy Kane. You ain't really, you know. But then when Jay-Z got signed and became, you know, what he became, then people went back to them old songs that Big Daddy Kane was on and started listening to them old Jay-Z verses. Like, that's usually how it worked. You know, you could put out 30 songs right now and nobody know who you are and not pay attention to you. And then, say 5 years from now, you get a deal. Everything you touch is selling. You go back and put them 30 songs out from back when nobody listened to them or didn't. You put them same songs out, guess what? They're going to sell crazy. Demo songs or not, don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because now you hot now. Everybody know who you are. So now they want everything that you make. Them songs that wasn't hot 30, 15, 20 years ago. You know, everything is hot. That's how I go. Yeah, when you ain't popping, like, you don't get a deal, don't mean you ain't popping, don't mean you're not hot. Because you could be hot. You just ain't get your break that you need. Because you got plenty of rappers out here that's not signed, that's don't nobody give a break. People just want to hear the fake stuff. They don't want to hear the real stuff. You know, because I know I'm better than a lot of rappers out here. You know what I'm saying? But the industry promotes the bubblegum stuff. You know what I'm saying? The machine promotes the fake stuff. You know, it's about making money. It ain't really about skills. It's about money. You know, that's what it's about. So they ain't interested in making money. They're interested in fake stuff. You know, the machine is pushing the money. The art ain't there no more. The creativity ain't there no more. You know, it ain't there no more. But, you know, the real hip-hop gonna come back soon. You know, but I just say keep plugging away. You gotta keep plugging away. You know, it don't matter. Alright, thank you. It don't matter. You gotta keep plugging away. Sometimes, like, it took Jay-Z 20 years or maybe longer to get a deal. It took Rick Ross something like that to get a deal. It took him that long to get signed. You know, and guys could have gave up, but they didn't. They stuck with it. I think Jay-Z was like 40 years old when he got a deal. And he was rapping since the late 80s. Jay-Z was out since the late 80s. You know, so, I mean, it happens. You know, you just got to stick with stuff. But guess what? People was talking about he was old and rapping and stuff like that. But guess what? Even look at all that money he made. He stuck with it. And now he laughing at y'all now. Rick Ross too. It don't matter how long it take you to get a deal. It's what you do with it when you get it. You know, that's what it's about. You know, because you can't put a age on talent. Talent lives forever. You know what I'm saying? Your music lives forever, just like books and that stuff lives forever. You know, audio and all that stuff lives forever. It don't go nowhere. You know, so you just gotta understand that. People gotta understand that. You know, you gotta just keep plugging away at life. You know, you don't know where life gonna take you. You just gotta keep plugging away. You know, just keep plugging away at it. You know, keep plugging away. And guess what? You can have them houses. You can have them houses that you saw back then. You know, but you gotta believe in yourself. And believe in God. You know, you gotta believe in God. It ain't just about believing in just yourself. You gotta believe in God also, because guess what? What's for you is for you. God gonna give you. So, you know, you don't know. You could be broke and struggling all your life, and guess what? You can play the lottery one day for a scratch off, and God could just say, you know what? He been living good. He been doing what I want him to do, and he been living a good life. You know what? I'm gonna bless him. You know, when he go play that scratch off, he go play that lottery ticket, I'm gonna bless him. Yeah, that's how life works. It works like that. That's why I say don't never worry about where you at in life and what you got, because you can be poor your whole life and then God could just bless you just like that. You can just run into a whole lot of money just like that. Like I'm telling you, it happens. It happens. I know I done been in situations where I done ran into money and like, damn, where this come from? You know, like, I ain't questioning it neither. You know what? Guess what? I ain't questioning nothing. I ain't even asking around nothing. Like, you know, like, it happens like that sometimes. You know, so all I can say is just live right. Do the right thing in your life and you know. And guess what? Even if you do slip up, Just stay real to yourself and stay real to God. Even if you slip up, as long as you staying real to yourself and real to God, you ain't playing with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll still bless you. As long as you ain't playing with him and you being diabolical or demonic, bless you.
Thank you.
He'll still bless you. Like, He know you're going to slip up and you're going to, mess up. He know that. Just don't play with him. That's all. All right, y'all. Peace. Leave them likes and comments.